Alright, this is KING-KAMBUF, and I'm about to try this architectural design lesson one. This is like the third track. Every time I put it down, it doesn't really come out just right. So here we go. Architectural design, lesson one. The nature of architectural design. I don't know if I like this beat though, son, but let's see what we can do with it and put a track down. It's KING-KAMBUF, 100 proof, nothing but the truth. Architecture is the art and the science of designing and constructing buildings. It is the creative process of conceiving and developing physical forms to accommodate human needs and purposes. Architectural forms, while composed of material elements, establish spaces in which human activities take place. The process of architectural design is extremely complex and demands considerable experience if one is to do it well. It is an exercise in synthesis of putting together a complex array of desperate parts to form a unified, independent composition. Or the process of architectural design also requires the collaboration of specialists. No one person can possibly know all that must be known in order to design a building. Thus, one of the chief functions of an architect is to coordinate a team of specialists who together create a design. Nevertheless, it is still necessary to have a central design concept, an idea for the physical design solution which addresses the design problem fully and correctly. I see. It also serves to unite all the separate skills of the contributing specialists around a central theme. Design is the process of giving form to an idea. It results in a purpose, physical creation that serves a practical need. Design involves setting forth objectives, analyzing information, planning and conceiving appropriate spaces and forms. Inspiration, talent, and intuition are invaluable to the process of design, but it is a process that occurs, not a mystical activity in the mind, but the process. It can be analyzed and comprehended by understanding the specific functional requirements, and with properly developed skills and sufficient experience, one should be able to solve any design problem. Obviously, the degree of skills needed for a design, simple design exercise, is far less than for a high complex one. A small factory is easy to design. That large hospital. The difference between the ability to design and the ability to design well is the distinction that elevates mere construction to architecture. When design is particularly well done well, we may say that the rare element of art has transcended the rational design solution. In architecture, as in every other kind of design, artful solutions are the goal to be sought. We see the process of design involves the understanding of functional problems, which requires a physical solution. Without an understanding of the problem, no satisfactory solution is ever possible. The more we know about the problem, the better our design solution should be. Functional problems are very complex. Each element of the problem may itself be intricate. Problems challenge the designer's ability to deal with it. Thus, the designer must seek expertise, expert technical advice, probably in several areas, and assimilate this advice into the design solution. Problems have been increasingly in the number of complexity and have been changing at a rapid pace. Social, cultural, and industrial patterns are in the most constant constraints, transitions. The designers is a constant challenge to understand the problem clearly in order to find the appropriate solutions. During certain architectural periods, designs became so formalized that they constituted a styling. A style, as long as the style answered all the needs of the design problem, it was useful. But when needs changed, those styles became obsolete or even burdensome. It is more useful in the architecture to rely on the method than on a style. Methodical approach to design examines the problems and the resources and technical availables, and these seek a physical solution. The design problems we see. So-called traditional designs involves the use of widely accepted styles of designs developed in the past. It's certain areas where the pace of change has been very slow and where materials are limited. Such designs may be called indigenous architecture. New England and in Mediterranean architectures are examples. State your problem, collect your data, analyze of data, program, design concept, design development, construction documents. However, new conditions require new solutions. In case the rationale, the methods, process behind both traditional and contemporary designs. It is well to keep in mind that all traditional designs once were called modern or contemporary considerations in architectural design. The process of architecture design involves the simultaneous resolution of a number of considerations and the combining of the number of elements into the whole. The purpose of architectures are many, but all derive from the basic purpose of accommodating human activities. In pursuit of these many purposes of architecture, we see in undertaking design should consider the following. Architecture requires an appropriate relationship between the site and the structure it accommodates. Architecture should respond to the characteristics of the site, its forms, climate, solar position, vegetation, and existing structures it sits within. Architecture should be a place in the landscape, so as well seen. Conversely, views of surrounding landscape should be visible from the building. Architecture should serve the purpose it is intended to serve. It should function properly. Function should not be seen narrowly, but as broadly as possible. Beauty is its function. Architecture should express the purpose it serves. Architecture should use economy of means to achieve its purpose. Architecture should utilize available technologies. Indigenous architecture must have a human scale in both its material parts and its space, and in its interior and exterior. Architecture should utilize materials appropriately. Architecture should utilize the familiar and commonplace building techniques of the locale. Architecture should be graceful in silhouette and massive in stature. Architecture should exhibit a degree of exuberance. It is an assertive act. Architecture should exhibit the priority of hierarchy of parts. Exhibit. Architecture should offer the human eye a visual, rich interest field of view. Architecture should establish a relationship between the interior and exterior spaces. Architecture should have integrity, honest and wholesome, thought out. Architecture should be expressive of human spiritual aspirations. Every work of architecture should be regarded as the opportunity to demonstrate the architecture's basic principles. Architecture should have all embrace and encompasses physical and design concepts. Architecture should be a place or spiritual form that encourages human contact. Architecture space is the arena where activities, interactions, and accomplishments take place. Architecture space, therefore, facilitates a broad range of human activities. It does not prescribe or limit them. The preceding list can be varied or amplified. In any particular building, some considerations will weigh more heavily than others, but in any case, it is clear that the task of the design of synthesizing 20% or more considerations is indeed a formidable one.